Be obsessed or be average. You got to be like the most obsessed person, not only about your ideas, but about everything. Like I don't live a 100% life. I live a 120 life all the time. My employer did not know that I was building basically another company outside of that. Luckily, I did know, and just doing my research on my end, that my contract for this company was very detailed and so if I were to apply for a patent when I was an employee at this company, I wouldn't own the rights to the patent at all. My name would be on there as an inventor, but I wouldn't own the patent itself. The company would. And I knew this, so it's kind of interesting because when I was reading the details of this contract, it specifically says outside of, let's say, semiconductors or electronics, there wasn't really any issue. But if you were to start an electronics company off the back of this current position and be applying for patents, you wouldn't be able to, or they would own the rights to that technically. So they did not know anything about this. Luckily, men's shorts in general, textiles, very much out of the range of the semiconductor company that I was at. That's good. So that also kind of made me more passionate about it. So as I went through, no one knew. I mean, they knew, and that's the kind of tough thing about starting from kind of a 9-to-5 position, an employee position to an entrepreneur is that, and that's largely why I recently quit my job, is because, and to go all in on my passion, which is Soul Shorts and which is business and entrepreneurship, is because you find yourself in this void where you're being a 50% employee over here and a 50% employee or founder or entrepreneur over here. And like Gary Vee says, I mean, everyone lives this half-pregnant nature, or this mentality. So I felt like crap when I was at work, like, man, I don't give a crap about any of this stuff, right? Like, I don't care about all this junk that they're throwing at me. This isn't gonna help me in the future unless I'm here or unless I get into this space, which is like good, okay, I'm willing to learn and absorb information. But yeah, I mean, I was all about this other thing, and so that's why recently I made the plunge. I'm like, I'm so bored at my day job. I don't even want to open that corporate laptop. Like, I don't even want to look at it. I don't even want it in my house. I don't want to charge it. I don't want to look at it, right? And it's a PC, and I'm a Mac guy. So like, I think that plays into it too. It's like, I'm like, get me out of here, man. And so I hit a point where, yeah, could I have stayed a year? For sure. Could I have stayed 5 years? Who knows? I probably could. Because the fear of diving into, I mean, let's talk very practically about the situation I'm in. So I'm making, let's say, upwards of $4,000 a month net at my current job or at my previous job, and a little more, a little less, whatever it may be. I have a mortgage to pay, right? I recently bought a house in Colorado. I have a mortgage to pay. I have a pretty hefty car payment that they were helping me with as well. It's a benefit of the sales job. I have student loans to repay. I have credit card bills that I've racked up extremely to be in business, to be an entrepreneur, to pay these vendors, to pay for domain names, to pay for everything, to pay for flights to LA to meet with the new manufacturers. We're talking thousands, even borderline tens of thousands of dollars of credit card debt that I'm very plagued by, even to this day, right? And that's scary to pretty much, I mean, shit, it's scary to me. Like that's the magnitude, and it's like making me emotional talking about it. But I just know in my heart that all the stuff I've read, all the stuff I've consumed from the guys that started Instagram, right? From the guys that started all these, Warby Parker. I mean, there's one story, and I'm spacing the founders, but I mean, they had a binder of credit cards that they were maxing out to get their company off the ground. And so really, I'm not wearing that debt like a badge of honor by any means. But you have to be comfortable with an extreme level of risk. And where I'm pulling this back and where I'm kind of going to transition back into is that it's never going to be the right time, ever. You're always going to have bills to pay. You're always going to have, things you want to buy. For me, I love cars, right? I'm always going to want a new car, a new part for my car, or, a new stereo for my house, or new workout clothes, or whatever it may be. You're always going to want. But there's never going to be a perfect time to leave the comfort of your job and the comfort of the salary, really. So a lot of people are plagued by that. And really, I want to say something really quick, that when a lot of people come up to me, and I want to, commend Grant Cardone for this kind of mentality. I know it's out there quite a bit, but when someone comes up to me and asks, oh man, you quit your job. That's awesome. That's so, what are you doing? And I'm like, I try to give them a good dose of what I'm doing because they're interested and curious. But then you'll see the conversation kind of flip. Dude, how are you going to pay your mortgage? You just bought a house. How are you going to pay your car payment? And all of a sudden you see this shift where it's their fears projected on you. And I'm not going out saying, dude, I don't know how I'm going to pay my car payment, to the kind of my friend group. My friend group obviously knows there's a healthy dose of things I have to pay for and expenses, but I'm working on that. No one else needs to be worrying about me. Because at the end of the day, there's only one person that's responsible for putting food on the table for you and for paying your bills and for, I guess, taking on your responsibilities, and it's you. And a lot of people, right, they project that fear onto you, but I know very well that that's not my fears talking, that's their fears. They don't know how they would quit their job and make it work, right? But I do. And my passion is doing that. I mean, I always tell my friends, like, what am I good at? I'm good at figuring crap out fast and just making it work. So, yeah, I think that, and this is just a kind of full circle thing, but yeah, I mean, there's just so much risk that you have to be able to tolerate, and that's a big buzzword, is risk. But at the same time, man, you got to always be thinking, how can I get from here to here fast? I want to be, I'm here, I'm in debt right now, right? To get these companies off the ground, student loan debt, credit card debt, blah, 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 car debt, right? Or mortgage debt. How can I get to here where I can satisfy all my expenses while building and scaling something even bigger than myself or my life, even legacy, right? How can I build something that another big passion for me is building something that my friends can benefit from? I was like, what do I love? I don't know what I love. I love to execute. I love to build businesses, what I've come to learn. But man, I love spending time with my friends because they're the ones who enable me to do this stuff. They really are there for me all the time, and they're always wanting me to, they know. It's the most insane mindset. It's like, I've had two friends that I can think of off the top of my head, and one of them was a high school friend of mine, and his name was Will, and he came up to me when he visited me at college, when him and a couple of my buddies drove up, or rather down to Arizona from Colorado, and this was just one summer where I was living out there doing a summer class, and there was just this. He said it in such a casual tone. He's like, man, you're going to make it. And you're going to we're going to be on your boat, partying, man, when we're 30, blah, blah, blah. And, I just always knew that was going to happen. And, I got years ago. I got 20 years ago, let's say, till we're at that point. But there's something bigger than me. It's doing it for all the people that have given to me and given, helped me financially, who have helped me emotionally and mentally. And the second case was, a little more recent. One of the guys I live with in Dallas, and him and his girlfriend, they just knew that when they saw me working at 11 p.m. when they came home, or let's say she stayed over and they saw me working at 5 a.m. They're like, you're gonna be the best, billionaire we've ever. If there's anyone rather who deserves it more and who's going to be best at it, it's going to be you. Which sounds a little weird, but the thought was, it was I was born to do this. I was just born to build things and provide so much value to the customer at the end of the day that I'm going to reap the rewards of it, and I can, project that on my friends, whether it's a job, whether it's, hiring my parents, whether it's buying my parents stuff, helping them to travel and reach their, future goals, etc. There's just something so much bigger than myself. And I'm not worried about myself. I'll figure it out. I can go back and get a sales job. I can sell. But I'm why wouldn't I sell for myself and my company to build my legacy and my friends' legacies and my family's name, right? Than going and selling for someone else. So really that's the mindset that I have, and I'm just all in all the time. And I think that luckily I'm blessed with just being an executioner and being a heavy type A that's got energy all the time. And my friends they're always like, dude, calm down, dude, chill out. Once again, Grant Cardone, be obsessed or be average. You gotta be the most obsessed person, not only about your ideas, but about everything. I don't live a 100% life. I live a 120 life all the time. Whether that's in relationships, whether that's in business, whether that's in walking down the street, right? Well, anything I do is 120, and that's why I'll be successful. And that's why I can help enable that success for all my friends and all my influencers, because I have it. Like I know in my heart of hearts that I have it, and I'm gonna not tell you, I'm gonna prove it to you. And that's what I'm doing right now.